Hi, it's Daniela from Cake in the Afternoon here. I am here today to show you how I make my embossed cookies. So I see in a lot of forums and stuff, people asking how do you stick the fondant on? Do you stamp it before or after the putting the fondant on the cookie, etc., etc. So I'm just going to show you what I do, and this works for me. Hopefully it'll help you out when you make your cookies as well. So I've started with my cookie cutter. So we're doing some heart-shaped cookies today, and 3 messages that I printed out with my 3D printer that we're going to use as stamps today. Then we need some fondant. So I use Fondtastic fondant for all of my embossed cookies. Food colour if you'd like to colour your fondant. I use gel pastes, a little bit of corn flour, rolling pin, and some cool boiled water, and obviously baked cookies, which I need to go and grab because they're over there. So just starting with the fondant, I've microwaved this for a little bit, but because we've added the gel, it's already a little bit softer than normal. So we just need to kind of knead that until, if you've coloured it, until all the colour is mixed in. And I'm just going to grab maybe just half of that for now, and then we'll do the other half later. And we've got to grab some corn flour and just a bit of baking paper so that it doesn't stick to your bench. I always prefer to use a little bit of baking paper. Now, not too much corn flour, because what will happen is if you use too much, then it will not stick to the cookie when you're creating the. So I've got my cookie, and there we go, and it fits exactly that. So what I then do is I put it through my fondant sheeter, but you could use a pasta roller if you wanted to. And just to get it nice and thin. So then I use my acrylic rolling pin, rolling it out. Oh, it's a bit sticky, you can see it's sticky. Let's just put a bit more of corn flour on it so it doesn't stick. Now, what I do so that the fondant doesn't take the shape of the cookie. So what you'll find a lot of the time when you see embossed cookies, when they're photographed, you'll see they're a bit lumpy. They're lumpy because they have been, so the fondant is too soft, and when you put it on a cookie, it'll mold to the top of the cookie, so you see all the lumps. So what I tend to do is I'll let it sit there for a bit, even before I start stamping. And then I pop it on the cookie, so it kind of develops like a crust, and it gets a little bit firm. So with that firmness, you don't get the molding around the cookie, so therefore you don't get those lumps and bumps. So I just take my embosser tool and emboss it into the icing. You can see sometimes there's a little bit of, there's my gloves that have taken a little. That's why I love using Fondtastic, because they don't, it doesn't actually, you can actually just kind of like blend it out, any lumps and bumps. So we're just going to leave it there and continue doing those. And it takes a little bit of practice getting the right amount of pressure for the fondant, the tool into the fondant, because sometimes if you press too hard, it goes right through, or it sticks into the embosser tool. So gently press it down, and then smooth out the little lumps. And what I do now is I just let this sit there for about 5 minutes before I pop them on. And try not to wiggle it around too much so you don't distort the words on the fondant. Just take away the excess. Okay, so we're just going to come back in a little bit once that's nice and set, and then we'll show you how we pop them onto the cookie. Okay, the fondant cookies have sat there, the fondant has sat there for about 2 or 3 minutes, maybe even 5. You could leave them for it, doesn't really matter. So just grab some cooled boiled water, brush the top of the cookie with the water, grab the fondant and just gently press it on. And there you go, that's the first one. Now, I always let my my embossed cookies sit to air dry for a little while before I package them, just so that the fondant sets well, and when you're bagging them they don't stick to the bag, so it's really important. There you go, that's that one. And any kind of little imperfections you can kind of just smooth out very gently with your hand, a finger, or a smoothing tool. Pop that on. And see, it's a lot easier, just gently, you don't press it too much because that's when all the little lumps and bumps will start to mold to the cookie, so you just press the sides to smooth them out. And actually we'll use these ones because that came out a little bit uneven. And that's pretty much it. It's pretty simple. If you've got a little bit of corn flour on there, that's all right. You can brush that off a little bit later. Smooth out the sides a little bit. And there you go. Be mine. Thank you very much for watching, and I shall see you again soon.